Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Tim Pandajis. We've got a lot to talk about in this update. A brand new drought report released this morning. Not great news for southeast Texas. I have good news, though, in regards to the drought, is that we have rain chances that'll be going up starting tonight, widespread tomorrow, and again on Saturday. So hopefully we can maybe lessen that drought a little bit. I don't think it's enough to put a big dent in that, though. Tropics remaining quiet as we inch our way closer to the peak of hurricane season, which is a little over a month away on September 10th, believe it or not. There have been updates to the outlook for the remainder of the season and what we could expect. All right, let's start with the drought. Widespread areas of extreme drought conditions. This is last week's report. Look at the difference jumping to this week. Exceptional drought conditions, the highest tier severity you can get, expanded north through Sealy and Brenham all the way up to College Station. Extreme drought conditions now encompassing a large portion of Harris and Montgomery. In fact, look at the week-over-week jumps here. In Harris County, 66% of the county, two-thirds, are under extreme drought. That's a jump of 38%. Montgomery County, half the county, extreme drought, and that's a jump of 50% week-over-week. There is good news in terms of reservoir status. They're all sufficiently full here in our area. All the reservoirs that supply water to Houston and surrounding areas, Conroe, Houston, and Livingston, all north of 90% full. Can't say the same for every reservoir in the state, though. Off to the west and into the Panhandle, certainly much drier there, and reservoirs are reflecting that 30, 40, even less than that full in some of those areas. Look at our rain chances going forward. 30% today, double that for Friday, and we do it again on Saturday, down to 30% on Sunday. So rain chances pretty much each day up through the upcoming weekend. Here's future track showing this afternoon that 30% chance. Isolated downpours, atmosphere is really juiced up. So if you get those downpours and it sits over you for a little while, easily it could put down an inch, inch and a half worth of rainfall. Very, very beneficial. Things quiet down overnight tonight. And tomorrow, I think the morning hours will see the best chances of rain along the coast. That inches its way northwards into the afternoon. More widespread with those scattered storms and downpours. Quieting down again Friday, but by Saturday morning, things start to get very active. First along the coast and then expanding northwards by mid-morning to the I-10 corridor. Widespread heavy rain indicated by this model, lifting its way farther to the north of I-10 by lunchtime and around throughout the area through mid to late afternoon before tapering on off. Flood potential is there, even though we're extremely dry. We're at a level 1 out of a 4-tiered system in terms of flood potential here. That marginal risk in the area in green for tomorrow. We haven't gotten the update yet for Saturday, likely similar conditions. All right, let's jump to the tropics now. Void of any activity in the Gulf of Mexico. Very quiet in the Atlantic Basin, too, despite a rather robust tropical wave exiting Africa, heading into the basin. It's going to run into a few roadblocks, though, because of all the dusty conditions. But we are inching our way closer to the more active portion of the season. Here we are on the 4th. Climbing our way to September 10th, the peak. Look at the increase climatologically in activity we can expect. So that being said, there have been 2 updates issued today by several organizations, the Hurricane Center, National Hurricane Center, NOAA, and Colorado State, kind of adjusting their outlooks they put out earlier in the season. So NOAA says now 14 to 21 named storms, or 14 to 20, excuse me. They originally had 15 to 21, so lowered it slightly. Colorado State now says 18 named storms as we go through the rest of the season. Those include Alex, Bonnie, and Colin that already developed. So still an above average season expected. On average, we see around 14 named storms with a 30-year average. So why the update and why the change in those numbers? Well, La Nina is expected to continue. That's cooler Pacific waters along the equator. And that leads to less wind shear in the Atlantic Basin, making it easier for storms to develop and persist. Also, we've got above normal tropical water. Sea surface temperatures are well above where they need to be and sufficient for storm development and growth, and that led to that slight decrease in those storm counts, but still an above average season expected. There's a look at all that dust. A lot of it out there, and it's drifting to the west, some of it even making it into our skies by next weekend or so. As long as that dust is present and not lifted farther to the north, it'll keep the tropics quiet, at least for now. Now, it has been a rather slow July. In fact, our last named storm, our 3rd of the season, was on July 3rd, so it's been a month. But despite that, we are actually right on schedule with where we should be. When we look at climatology from 1991 to 2020, typically the 3rd named storm takes until August 3rd to develop. So we're right in line with that, with Colin developing a month ago. So we'll see what the rest of the season holds. Here's a look at your weekend forecast. 50% chance on Saturday for some storms and downpours, 92. 94 on Sunday, a 30% chance. 7-day forecast. After the weekend, we kind of fall back to business as usual. Afternoon storms and temperatures right in line with where we should be in the mid-90s.